Welcome back, folks. This is Sarcasm Speaks. You're watching Jared and Bob, or you're watching Sarcasm Speaks. This is Jared and Bob. I don't know. Either way, I think either one of them works.
Well, if you're on YouTube, you're watching us.
Well, yeah, if you are on YouTube, you're certainly watching us, and you probably just turned it off. Your immediate regret.
Thumbs up and subscribe.
Yes, while you're here, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and leave us a comment if you want to. We typically that stuff gets stuffed at the end, and I don't know how many people stick around to the end of it. So, for what it's worth, if you're just listening on the audio only version, subscribe over there too. And if you use Apple Podcasts, go to the iTunes store, give us 5 stars and write a review over there too. So if you're not brand new to the show, we typically record this Thursday episode a little bit early. So it's Tuesday. We're watching, at least I'm assuming you are too, watching
I have it on.
The Philly Washington.
I have it on until the internet doesn't work.
Yeah. Not what I expected so far. Washington's up 7-0.
So I actually haven't watched anything, so I really can't comment on this. But I wish I was paying attention to the lines and whatever, because this probably would have been a good spot to underreact. Where is Garrett Gilbert playing?
Yes.
Do you know what the line closed at?
I'll tell you in a second.
You don't know. So going in the game, you knew they were going to be without. It was Heineke and Kyle Allen, right?
Yep.
So they were both going to be out, which means Garrett Gilbert got signed off the Patriots practice squad, and he was going to start. And the line probably moved kind of crazy.
Yeah, according to Action Network, it closed at 10.
No, did it really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm gonna double check.
This is not a 10-point game
with Vegas Insider really quick.
This is not a 10-point game. It just isn't. I might hop in and see.
Yeah, Vegas Insider also had it at 10. It closed at 10.
Fuck.
So
I just wasn't paying attention. Fuck. Because that's not a 10-point. Washington is not 10 points worse.
No, even with Garrett Gilbert. And now he has them
there, and it would be fucking 10-point lead.
Yeah, it's about to be 10-0 Washington. So
fuck. That sucks. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're not paying attention. Yeah. But I also told myself, I'm like, I'm not going to bet this week with all the COVID shit. And
yeah,
all I'm going to do is fade the bartender, which I did 2-1, which I got fucked last night, but whatever. So I haven't had a bad beat like that in a long time. And so I had Chicago +7.
Oh, okay.
Chicago was down 14, scored as time expired. Yeah. And generally when you score a touchdown, you kick the extra point. They would have been down 7. So that if they kicked the extra point, they would have lost by 7.
Yeah.
I would have pushed my bet. But because the clock expired and the play was irrelevant to the outcome, they didn't kick the extra point, which goes back to the miracle. What the fuck was it in Minneapolis? The Minneapolis Miracle?
Yeah, the Saints game.
The Stephon Diggs play.
Yeah.
It goes back to that because they made fucking the guys come back out and kick the extra point for no fucking reason. And I was like, in that case, no, don't bring them back out. But in my case, I could have pushed.
Yeah.
Why doesn't it work in my favor?
Because it never does. Nothing ever works in your favor.
Bad beat there, but whatever.
Yeah. What can you do, right?
What are you gonna do? I can fucking cry about it. Actually, I could still take the Washington football team +2.5 or in 124 money line.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What do you think? Take them on the money line? Or do you not get greedy and take the 2.5?
I would take the 2.5. I don't know if Washington's going to actually win this game.
You know what I'm going to do? All right, so this is live handicapping. I'm not going to bet this unless Philly goes down and scores a touchdown right now. If they go score a touchdown, I will take Washington plus whatever.
Yeah, because it would probably be Washington plus 5.
7, like 7.5. I feel like if I can get them,
a
touchdown, or higher, I think I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Live handicapping.
There it is. I had them at plus 10.
Did you actually take them?
No, but because I'm a sports writer now, for ultimatesportsnetworks.com, you can go there and find all the things that I write now for sports betting.
Do you get paid by the article for that?
By the month.
And is it by the amount of people who view?
Yeah, and subscribe. There's like an algorithm for it. And then if anybody subscribes, so hey, here we go, all our listeners. If any of you want to subscribe to ultimatesportsnetworks.com, you can use my promo code, and then that will pay me extra, I don't know, whatever it is a month for whatever you sign up for. I think it's $9 a month for a membership, and I get 4 of the $9. So
is that how you make money with this gig? Really?
Yeah, for the most part.
So I asked because I used to write for Stack, but it was like a freelance gig thing. Like you would write, submit an article, whatever. And I would make and so I was writing the articles anyway, and then I would submit them to Stack.
Right.
So I would make like $1.
Yeah.
If I got 100 people to read it.
Yeah.
And then I know it maxed because if you got 10,000 or more views on one article, I remember the tier was 20, which means because it would go up the tier. So it's like if you got 100 people is $1, 200 people is $2, 500 people is $3, but you would get each tier. So you'd get the you'd get the $6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would go up the tier. So you got to the 10,000, it was worth like $60 for an article.
Right.
But they weren't hard to write and they weren't hard to submit. So I did it for a while. I didn't make shit, but
yeah,
I assume what you're doing is better than that, right?
Yeah, it's also part of so all of the writers get a cut of however many people there are subscribed for that month. So say there's like 20,000 people that subscribe. Whatever, I don't know that math. I'm just making numbers up. But let's say the subscription's $10.
Well, it's
it's a $10 a month. So 20,000 people subscribe. It's
$200K.
That's $200,000. I think maybe
so it's 180.
If you take 10% of that, that gets split
amongst everyone, amongst
the writers. So I might only make like, $200 a month.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a solid gig.
And it's like, do you have like a word minimum on your articles? Because it's like the one I clicked on wasn't that long.
No minimums.
Especially if you're going to be doing gambling advice, all people want is the pick anyway.
Yeah.
And like usually people will go for the pick and then they might want to know why. So it's got to be to the point.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not super long. Like when I do, so the way I break it down is
that's only a couple hundred words.
I do the Thursday games. They're always a solo piece.
Like 500 words less?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. Thursday night games are always a solo piece, and then I do the whole weekend as one article. So I put out 2 a week. Obviously the entire weekend one is pretty lengthy, but each game really still only gets a paragraph. So, it might be because the cool thing about the website too is it tells you at the top of the article like an estimated time to read it. So like the full weekend one might be like 10 to 12 minutes of a read, but that's because there's fucking 14 games. There's like 14 paragraphs worth of.
Oh, you break down
stuff.
each game?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So.
A little gross.
Yeah, I was inspired by our buddy Ian McMillan. Shout out to Bacon Bets podcast.
I think you should send him 20%.
Yeah. Well, we're not often on the same picks because I'll go through and do all of mine.
Fine, 5% for the idea.
And then I'll go back. Well, see, my thing is I'm not actually betting on them. So like I put the picks out there, but I'm not betting all of the things that I put out.
Fine, 3% for the idea and not stealing his picks.
Yeah.
Ian, if you're listening to this, he's ripping you off.
Yeah, stealing all your shit.
C&D.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I totally forgot now.
I kind of cut you off.
I don't know. I lost my train of thought. It's gone forever.
No, you were probably just gonna say you're not betting every game like he is and just breaking them down for the peoples.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Giving the people what they want. Make your own informed decisions.
Well, my thing is, I
don't just steal my picks.
I go almost like next level degenerate shit, which because he does it, he writes professionally for Fansided.
Right.
He's not probably going to be like, oh, I'm going to take this random fucking thing. Like he's going to give you a spread or a total. So on some of mine, it's like, oh, I like the team total here. Like take the team total over. Or like I'll do random shit like that. Like if I can't really, because I just look at stats. Like I just pick a few different stats and compare them between the teams, and then that's pretty much how I make the picks. But if there's teams that are like pretty close, like pretty even, or there's no like real like blatant kind of angle to it, I'll just kind of look at it and be like, yeah, you're probably gonna want to take the team total here, or whatever. Like in what did I do last Monday night was somebody. No, maybe it was Thursday night. So not this previous Thursday, but 2 Thursdays ago, because it was a Minnesota game. And I was
that was when they played.
I was on the Minnesota team total as for like on the website, and like it hit. And it hit. Yeah, I forget who they played to. Doesn't matter. But
Steelers?
Yeah, probably.
Because I think I was on the under and the Steelers scored 21 in the fourth quarter for the second time this year to blow my fucking bet.
Yeah.
Fucking dickheads.
Yeah. They suck. Fuck the Steelers. What else? Oh, you know what? Since we're on fucking the Steelers, monkeys can get fucked. So I generally enjoy monkeys, right? Like they're cool, like they're cute little animals.
Hey, you're gonna have to give me a couple minutes.
Yep.
Rip away on this.
Yep. So monkeys are relatively cool. I enjoy them. And most people do, right? Like they're pretty close to humans. So it's actually funny. One of the podcasts I listened to, shout out to Drinking Bros, Dan Holloway was a co-host over there. He's got this crazy idea for a monkey co-op, which is hilarious because it actually kind of makes sense when you think about it. So you get a group of people, maybe like 10, 15 people. And then you all purchase a monkey, which I forget what it is, but like the upfront cost for like 15 people to pitch in to buy a monkey might be like $800 each, between like, $500 and $800 each. And then what you have to do is hire a full-time caretaker for the monkey. And then you pay their salary for the year, right? So you say it's like $100,000 for the year. Again, that's only like 300 and something bucks a month per person. And obviously this changes for the more people that you have in the co-op. And then say there's 15 people in the co-op. Actually, let's do that math out right now. So you're trying to pay a salary of $100,000 a year divided by 15 people. So that's $6,666 a year per person divided by 12 months. Yeah, it's $550 a month. So it's like an upfront cost of like 800 a person. And then it's $550 a month after that to pay the caretaker salary. But you're literally guaranteed time to hang out with a monkey at least 2 days a month, right? Because there's 15 people in the co-op. So, each person gets 2 full days a month, and you don't really have to even take care of it, clean up after it, do any of that shit, because you're paying the caretaker to do it. So that's the monkey co-op. I think it's a hilarious idea. So that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. It was just a great opportunity for me to tell everyone that's listening about someone's idea they had for a monkey co-op. The real story, now that Bob's back and can hear me.
I'm here.
So there were a bunch of monkeys, right? So that's what I was saying. Monkeys are pretty cool. People typically like them.
Generally.
They can do fun shit. Like they can obviously do different things, right? That like cats and dogs don't do. Like if you're hanging out with them and stuff like that.
So I've never seen a cat smoke a cigar. So
right. So in where is this? India recently, there were enraged monkeys. I'm going to read the title of this headline from the Daily Mail. Enraged monkeys kill 250 dogs by dragging them to the top of buildings and dropping them off, quote, out of revenge after puppies killed one of their infants in India. So that's where monkeys stop being cool for me, right? So if you got to pick, like, are you gonna try and protect the dogs and start monkey hunting? Or are you going to be like, I don't know, these dogs probably shouldn't have fucked with the monkeys?
I feel like they should have to fight it out through normal means.
Oh, they can't. Well, the monkeys win. Like the monkeys killed 250 dogs.
No. But like, I don't think carrying them to the top of the buildings is fucking fighting fair here.
No, but monkeys have thumbs.
Understood. They're also way stronger and whatever.
Yeah.
So like,
dogs
I'm good with
are also
animals.
probably really dumb too. They're probably like, oh, cool, the monkey's picking me up. Where are we going?
Yeah. Where are we going?
Yeah.
So number one, monkeys are assholes.
Yeah, monkeys suck. I think I've soured on monkeys.
That's a fucking dolphin move right there.
Yeah, I think I've soured on monkeys, at least Indian monkeys.
Oh God, they might as well. I don't even know. Like,
so they're wild monkeys too, right?
The monkeys of India.
I'm assuming so.
That's like Planet of the Apes.
I'm being very bigoted right now, but whatever. It's my show. I could do what I want. I'm assuming that the dogs are also wild, right? Like
it's got to be wild. It's wild.
If there's 250
India,
dogs,
dude.
That's what I was getting at. That's why I said I'm going to be bigoted for a second here. But I'm assuming that these are wild. These are just all wild animals. Like monkeys just kind of like roam the streets and also do dogs. So like, I don't know. It's just, if I saw that happening, I'd start hunting monkeys. I wouldn't give a fuck. I don't care. It's not like, because what I was getting at too is like, it's not obviously not pets, right? If it were pets, then it's all out war. It's like we're starting a monkey genocide. You get fucked. Like fuck those monkeys. I'm gonna make them go extinct. But if it's all wild animals and like shit happens, like, yeah, man, that's still not cool. Also, like, that's a really fucked up way to kill something.
Yeah.
Right?
Fucking is.
Yeah, like monkeys are fucked.
Yeah, so I'm not on Team Monkey on this one. I think the monkey should have to go hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And by hand-to-hand, I mean whatever the fuck you want to call it. No, again, they maybe still win, but at least they fucking earned it. I feel like they're taking the cheap way out.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they're just like lulling like if the dog knew that it was being carried to its death, it probably wouldn't willingly get in the fucking arms of a monkey.
No, they're playing with their food.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem is that in India, I don't think anyone cares.
No,
because there's probably
not.
too many stray animals running around in India.
Yeah. But like, why couldn't it be cats? Well, I know the dog has killed the infant, but
yeah, well, cats would probably land it and whatever.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You drop a cat high enough off a high enough building, I don't give a fuck that they're gonna land on their legs. They're dying.
Well, you got to do it 9 times per cat.
Oh so. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It's not efficient.
Yeah. So, okay. Oh shit, this gets worse. I'm reading like the underneath lines here.
God.
So, according to local reports, there are now barely any dogs left in the Lavul village. But without any dogs to target, the monkeys are now reportedly turning on children. So we've got homicidal monkeys in India.
Open season.
They've gotten a taste of death, and they apparently like it. And now they're turning on children. So yeah, I would say open season, we're going monkey hunting. And that my love for cute little monkeys only goes as far as them not killing dogs and children.
I actually almost feel worse for the dogs and the children. That just shows where my head's at.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that's the thing, right? And like I think that also sets the animal hierarchy for people too, right? So like, there's dog people. Obviously, they prefer dogs over cats, and there's cat people. But then there's some people that are like, oh, I don't know, I like snakes better. Like wherever, like, and those reptile people are just fucked. Like they're so fucking crazy to me.
Well, I'd rather have a pet tarantula.
Yeah. All right. Sick. Or like a giant fucking snake, like a one that like is known for getting out of the fucking glass terrarium. And then like, if it gets loose, like it's probably going to fucking kill you in your sleep. Cause like, it doesn't give a shit. Like, you want to talk about like cats, like not giving a shit. Like everyone always talks about like, oh yeah, cats, they make the joke like, oh, they're plotting to kill you in the sleep or whatever. It's like, no. Like a snake, if it gets out and it is capable of, it will kill you because it doesn't give a fuck. It's a snake.
Remember when Felger got in all that trouble for saying that like Roy Halladay died for being an idiot or whatever?
Yeah.
If you bring a killer snake into your own home and it kills you,
yeah,
you absolutely have fucking deserved that.
Right. Yeah. Like if you bring it, if you have a python as a pet and it escapes and it fucking strangles you to death while you're sleeping, yeah, I'm all set with that's natural selection. Like you literally handed yourself to the snake. You good over there?
Yeah, I was gonna try to move this thing, but I don't think I can adjust it. Or at least I can adjust it the way I want to. Huh. Oh well.
But yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like as far as like the hierarchy goes, like a lot of people will probably like, oh yeah, no, I really like monkeys. Nope, not anymore. Not for me. Monkeys can get fucked. They might be below cats for me now after this.
I'll still put cats below because I'm sure there's a lot of untold stories about animals doing fucked up shit.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they're animals.
And it's not that fucked up because if they were all in the wild, they would do, well, I guess if they're on the wild, there would be no buildings, but
right.
They do fucked up shit on their own is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I'm just reading through the.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if this fucking village in India is just overrun with all types of animals.
Yeah, so I guess monkeys are not that cool. Come to find out. But hey, fuck them, right? Do you want to actually, let's talk about this. I didn't want to get too much into COVID stuff because one, I fucking hate COVID stuff. And two, there's a solid chance that Sexy Chris is going to join us on Sunday night. And obviously there's going to be a lot of that style talk. So, however, and then also, if anyone's watching on YouTube, this is a foreshadowing moment where you see Bob's name is Stuffed Bread. We will get to that. I think Jones is also going to join us on Tuesday. So we might have back-to-back shows with guests on them. It's almost like we're a real podcast. And, Jones and I uncovered a massive conspiracy today that we'll share with you guys next week. So that aside, there's your foreshadowing. There's your little fucking dick
Your
tease.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, your dick tease for the next 2 episodes. We had an announcement today from Chucky Big Sticks. Chucky Baker's back in the news, and he announced that he was activating the National Guard to help support hospitals because of the whole Omicron thing, and the hospitals are getting overrun, and they're as of next Monday, the 27th, they're stopping elective surgery temporarily. So no more elective surgeries or procedures, whatever it is. The National Guard is going to join hospitals and all this. And I just want to say again, I can't really take a victory lap for this one, but I'm going to take another moral victory for this because I did talk about this. I alluded to it when I went to go get the monoclonal antibodies, and then I talked about it on the show when I was leaving South Shore Hospital in Weymouth. The entire 4th floor is closed. It's shut down. And when I asked the nurse why, the nurse responded to me, "We don't have anybody that wants to work. We don't have enough employees to staff an entire floor." So the entire 4th floor of South Shore Hospital is just nothing. It's empty. All the lights are off. Nobody's there. Lights are off. No one's home because there's not enough bodies that are working right now in the hospital. So all of this bullshit, and I said it was going to happen too, and here we are. So maybe you know what, fuck it, I am going to take a victory lap. So here we are with Omicron, and everyone's getting it because it's super fucking transmissible, even though it's I think it's a factor of 10 less deadly. I think Chris sent this to me today. I think your chances of dying from COVID regularly were 0.0003, and your chances of dying from the Omicron variant are 0.00003. So it's a whole 10 factor.
Is that as a human being, or is that as a certain age demographic?
I don't know. He didn't specify. That's just what he sent to me. We can ask him on Sunday.
I don't really care.
So now everyone's flipping out, right? Just like I said, like, oh, here we go. Is a spike coming with the hospitals? Well, the hospitals are going to be overrun. Oh, you guys are unvaccinated. You're going to overrun the hospitals. No, you stupid fucks. The hospitals don't have enough staff. The hospitals would get overrun right now if there was a bad flu season.
So I was going to say that because I've actually heard from, so I made, and I'm going to tell my story by making a story. I made my COVID bucket today.
Yes.
It's on the idea of a swear jar. And I don't expect anyone to put any denomination in this, but I felt happier for doing it. So let's call it the Festivus COVID jar. It's like a swear jar, but for COVID. $1 if you want to talk about COVID, masks, Omicron, etc. $2 if you would like to talk about something in another state or country, but is not relevant to Massachusetts. And $5 was if you want to make outlandish claims, like you invented the question mark. So,
or the wrap sandwich.
So if that's my COVID bucket. And number 2, the $2 fine pertains directly to what we're talking about right now, because I've asked nurses in hospitals, oh, how bad is it? Not bad.
Yeah.
Yet he's acting in that regard. So if people in prominent Boston and greater Boston hospitals are saying it's not that busy, or it's not any busier than it normally is, which is kind of more accurate.
Right.
Why is he activating the National Guard? There's no labor. That's the problem.
Right. And it's probably a situation similar to Jones down in New Jersey, where you activate the National Guard and send them into the hospitals. I highly doubt the National Guard people are going to be the ones in the fucking ER, like taking the patients in and doing all kinds of crazy shit. Like, they're probably going to be doing like paperwork. They're probably like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think someone from the National Guard is going to be scrubbing in on a fucking surgery. Like, they're probably just there to do like whatever tasks need to be done.
Stand by and be flexible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be agile.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we activated them. They were there. They were there if we needed them to. Meanwhile, every National Guardsman is fucking pissed because they're going to get activated to go stand and do nothing. And they're not even going to be able to go like do their real job. So I actually know one of the ladies I work with, her wife is in the National Guard, also works for Eversource. So anytime any of this bullshit happens, for whatever reason, like her unit's always gets fucking called on. So it's like, so you have this scenario, let's play it out. Person X is in the National Guard, also works for Eversource, right? So now, which is a gas company in Massachusetts, for those of you that aren't from the Northeast region. So now let's say she gets activated to go sit in a hospital and do nothing or do paperwork. Now that's one less person that works for Eversource for the next however many months. So now their workforce is hindered. You know what I mean? Like, you see where things might get a little fucking wonky. And I know it's just one like her only being one. If she's the only person in the fucking National Guard that works at Eversource that gets activated, it's not a big deal. But play the game, right? It's fun to do. You know, if you have enough people that work in enough certain things that now get pulled, maybe it starts to fuck up some other shit for those companies where they work. I don't know. You know,
what if it definitely can.
I don't know. I don't know if there's actually any rules against it or anything, but like off the top of my head, like I'm just thinking like if someone was in a National Guard, there's a solid chance they're probably in law enforcement or a first responder, right? So God knows there's fucking a shortage of first responders right now because no one wants to be a cop, given the climate of the last 2 years. But what if you have a department of, I don't know, 60 and 3 or 4 of them are in the National Guard and they all get activated? Well, you know, your department of 60, it sounds like a lot, but the top 20, 25 probably aren't on the road. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, if the department is 60, you don't have 60 patrolmen. You got a lot of guys.
They run themselves.
Yeah. So, you could be losing 5-10% of your workforce as patrolmen. I don't know. And it is obviously all speculation, but you just look at it as like, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of everyone's time, and it's a waste of resources. Especially like you said, if you're hearing from nurses that work at relatively big hospitals and they're all saying it's not any busier or any worse than it normally is at this time of year. Like it's just for optics then. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Or no, listen, I'm not doubting that there's a labor issue. Like, so the hospitals are exactly as busy as they always are. Yeah. But people are going to be overwhelming the healthcare system. That's because they can't get anyone to fucking work.
Right.
And hospitals were overwhelmed before.
Hospitals are now it's just easy.
Like if a hospital was overwhelmed in the winter of 2017, I would love to bring a nurse on here. If hospital like someone who's been working maybe not like fucking 40 years, but like someone who's been working like 8 to 15.
I know one. She sometimes listens to the show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, but the other thing is too, is if we're going to bring someone on like a nurse, they have to kind of go with what we like and what we say and kind of how we feel about things. I don't want them telling me otherwise. But I don't know if these hospitals get what you would quote unquote overwhelmed every winter.
Yeah.
They might. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah,
I think they do though. I think they do because like what Jones was telling us, they're always towing the line of being at 80% full or whatever like that. If that's what, the ICU needs to operate at to break even,
right?
They ain't going below that, which means there's not going to be a surplus of beds or anything.
Right.
So I personally think that I'm not basing this off of anything. I'm just fucking an idiot. But I think the hospitals get overwhelmed every winter.
Well, especially in the Northeast, right? Because what happens? It gets really fucking cold.
It's cold.
So
people stay inside.
Where do all the homeless people go? They probably end up in hospitals.
They go down to
emergency departments
South Bay.
Or if they don't and they try and stay outside, then where do they get taken? They either like try and
nowhere.
Go
they
into
get
a
left
hospital,
out there.
Or they're picked up by an ambulance and brought to a hospital. You know what I mean? Like,
no, dude, they just go on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I was gonna say she might still be scarred by it, but someone died outside Michaela's window the other day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Don't know if it was an OD or temperature, but
yeah. So
you just go there.
Yeah, there you go. But
because Mayor Woohoo, she's like, so liberal and it's great and it's awesome and person of color and all that shit. And wouldn't you know it, still not doing a fucking thing about Tent City down there.
Yeah. I love how people use the term person of color, like only how it fits their narrative.
It's so like the Dominicans. It's
yeah.
And I always see this because Nikos will retweet it. And I don't give a shit. And I don't want to get into the nitpicks of it. But the African American, the Black community, they always say about Dominicans that when it's cool to be Black, they are.
Right.
And when it's not cool to be Black, then all of a sudden they're Dominican.
Right. So what is it like when it comes to like school and like education and stuff, like admissions, like college admissions, they don't count Asians as minorities or somehow something like that. Like they change whatever fucking things. But then like when they get elected for office, they're like, oh yeah,
it's a person of color.
She's a person of color. It's like, what? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
When convenient.
Yeah, it's when convenient over there. So the other thing, actually, the big thing. So as much as we've shat all over Chucky Big Sticks over the last 2 years,
he's been fine since this time last year.
Yeah. So like I said, as much as we've shat all over him, We have, given him props when we have to. There's certain things that he's done fine on. So the big thing that came from today in his announcement was that, and this angered some people, but he instituted an indoor mask advisory.
Yep.
So he said he strongly suggests that regardless of vaccination status, if you go somewhere indoors in Massachusetts, that you wear a mask. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were like, where's the mandate? Why no mandate? And someone actually asked him the question at the press conference and said, Governor Baker, why an advisory and why no mandate? And his response was actually sane. And he said, well, with whatever it is, I think it's approaching 80% of the state is vaccinated. He was
I think it's a solid 70 plus is fully vaccinated, and 90% of the state has only has one dose. Yeah. It's something fucking crazy.
Yeah. So that what he had said to the reporter was just that was with our high vaccination rate, I don't find it necessary to mandate masks everywhere. So I'm just going to strongly suggest that people do it anyway. And people still didn't like that because most people are cunts.
Yeah. So it's almost, it's 74% fully vaccinated and then 89.4% one dose.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking crazy. And actually, while we're giving credit, and because I actually said this before I even came down, because I saw what he said, and I'm like, you know what? He has been perfectly fair, I think, since this time last year.
Yeah.
And it was like early November, he put in the like mask anywhere all the time, which I think included outside, which was retarded.
Yeah.
So since then, he's actually been good because he has treated the state of Massachusetts like the state of Massachusetts. Let's look at what's going on here. Let's look at what's going on with our people. Let's not look at what's happening in fucking Alabama or Texas or Florida. What's happening here? What is our deal?
Right.
Like, fuck New York, fuck Connecticut, fuck Rhode Island, fuck all of them. What's happening here? And that's what he's done.
Right.
And then even today, that's beyond fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
Why no mandate? Motherfucker, 75% of you are fucking vaccinated.
Yeah.
The fuck do you mean? What, I'm going to put in a mandate because of 25% of the population? No fucking way.
Yeah. Well, Mayor Woo Woo did it in Boston today.
Yeah, but she's an idiot.
She announced that you need a vaccine passport.
Yeah, she's in order
to go anywhere in Boston.
But this is the thing, and so like our guy Big Chuck, he I don't think he's up for re-election. I think he's either gonna let it go or he's not running.
No, he hit his
so he's either hit his limit or he's not running. One or the other. He hit his
limit.
And she's enough of a fucking idiot where I hope that the governor of the state doesn't also go that far, like liberal wise, because even like the people around, and it's like the voting population, they generally kind of always lean towards some balance.
Yeah.
Like if Boston is going to be super liberal, then the governor's got to be a little bit more.
So the interesting thing about Massachusetts from a political standpoint has always been, yes, the state is liberal, right? Like in presidential elections, it always goes Democrat, like almost regardless of who it is. However, when it comes to more like policy things, Massachusetts is actually like a little bit more towards like the touch of a conservative side. And I've heard people talk about it, and they say it has a lot to do with the puritanical roots, right? So
True.
The area was settled by the Puritans, like the Pilgrims were the Puritans who got kicked out of England because they were too fucking crazy with religion. So that was like the whole thing behind like why you couldn't sell booze in Massachusetts until like 15 years ago on Sundays. Sorry. You couldn't sell booze on Sundays in Massachusetts until like 15 years ago. Like there were all these like crazy laws because the people that settled Massachusetts that created this area were like radical fucking Christians. Like there's a very deep sense of Christianity, and like there's that touch of conservatism that falls within that, right? So yes, Massachusetts itself is a very progressive state. It is very liberal. Like I said, presidential election always goes Democrat. We're one of the first states to allow gay marriage and all that shit. But at the same time, like you're not gonna see like these crazy, like insane fucking Green New Deal people. Like they're not going to come out of Massachusetts. Like the craziest person we've had is Elizabeth Warren, and everyone fucking can't stand her. You know, like seriously though, like Ted Kennedy, who was the senator for fucking ever in Massachusetts, was a Democrat, but like he was a pretty moderate Democrat, you know, like Massachusetts, like I said, it's a weird place politically, because it is very Democrat, but it's not super progressive. Like you don't get a lot of those like woo woo ideas. Like no, well, now that we have the fucking the new governor woo woo, she's pro defund the police, and that's just going to be a fucking disaster if she's allowed to do that. But up until now, with this new mayor, nobody in Massachusetts has ever spoken a word about defunding the police, right? Even Senator Warren, like she never even said anything about that, because that's not like, you know what I mean? Like there's still a little touch of conservatism in some areas in Massachusetts, along certain things, or I guess conservatism is the wrong word. They're just not uber progressive, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're liberal, but they're not uber progressive. If that makes sense.
Either way, again, it's like, but this is why you run into the shit you run into in California, because it's like you'll get the governor and the mayors going way too far to one side. There's no balance.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully people vote for balance, but
yeah. I think
whatever.
More often than not, in the last like 20 years, Massachusetts has had a Republican senator. I think the only Democratic, I'm sorry, senator, I meant governor. The only Democratic governor Massachusetts has had in the last 20 years is Deval Patrick.
Yep.
Because it was Mitt Romney before him, and then before Romney was Bill Weld. He was a Republican.
Yeah, I don't even know.
So
I don't know. I mean, it's good if you can actually balance it out. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then there's the whole thing too, right? That's a term. It's like you're called a Massachusetts Republican. Like right. That's like a legitimate thing where it's like, oh yeah, you're a Massachusetts Republican, which means like you're still pretty liberal, but you're not a fucking, you know, crazy left-wing person.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like I said, I do give credit to Charlie Baker on that one.
And again, while we're giving credit to people that we generally criticize, and we don't criticize them politically, we criticize them for being old. Sleepy Joe today.
Yeah.
So I actually, because I heard someone say, and like this was the other day where he's like, it's going to be a dark winter for the unvaccinated people that might include hospitalization and death. I don't know what the fuck he said. He said something weird. People.
Well, like, the White House put out a press release that said something along the lines of like, if you're unvaccinated, your winter's going to be full of sickness and death.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, that's dark, whatever. And it's like, not really, but whatever. Yeah. Just watching people fucking play both sides, it's amazing. Yeah. But even he's like, oh, we're gonna the unvaccinated is be in for a rude awakening come Tuesday. And it's like, I'm like, what the fuck is gonna come Tuesday?
Yeah.
Nothing came today. No. Nothing.
Nope.
They're gonna release more PPE, they're gonna release more healthcare workers, They're gonna have more at-home testing.
Yeah.
And then like they're gonna try to get more people vaccinated. It's like nothing. What was this big threat? What was this big whatever?
Yeah. Did I send that to you too, or did I only send it
I
to
don't
Jones
know.
this
Wait,
morning?
I don't know.
I sent it would have been a text message. I sent it to Jones then. It was a link to like the whitehouse.gov, like the White House website, because so Biden gave his press conference at 2:30, but at like 11:30 this morning, they released like a full agenda for his press conference. So they went over everything that he was going to say. And that's what it was. There was nothing about like restrictions or any kind of headache for the unvaccinated, even though, because I heard him say that the other day too. Oh, they're going to be in for a rude awakening on Tuesday. So I sent it to Jones and I go, there's nothing in here about any regulations or rules for people.
No,
so
nothing.
They're full of shit.
But where I do want to give him credit for is people asked him, well, oh, don't, isn't there any more you could do? Or isn't there anything? I don't know. It's something people want more. I always want more.
Well, yeah.
And he goes, well, no, this isn't March 2020 anymore. And I'm like, thank fucking God.
Yep.
Like, thank fucking God. Because if you actually go back to, and I like going back to April 2020. I just get a good kick out of it, where it's like Cuomo and Baker. Oh, they handled everything so well. Did they?
Yeah.
Because a lot of fucking people died. A lot of people died.
Yep.
And then not that many people died. And it hasn't come back up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You fucking tell me.
Right.
But at least he came out and said, no, this isn't March 2020 anymore. Like, that made me actually, I'm not going to say hope, because that's not the right word. And I've been sure to bury my hopes and dreams. I think they're still in Mansfield, actually, under the septic system. I would say a 1% of promise that I actually feel like today, not very far, but we've actually moved on a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe 0.5%. I feel like we've moved on 0.5%.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. Like I said, I think I would love to get into this a little bit more with Chris on Sunday.
Yeah, sure. We can
through.
move
but
on.
I think I agree.
We'll end it. We'll end it with the credit.
I think we're getting there. I do think we're getting there. So I guess I want to start wrapping this up. It's time.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Have you ever heard of the Belgian blue? It's a cow.
No.
Anyone who's listening and isn't in a car right now, just Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever. Belgian blue cow. And I want your reaction to this thing.
Holy shit. Holy shit. This thing's like it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of cows.
Yeah, it's like the Roger of cows.
Yeah, it's
Roger was. So anyone who is listening and isn't able to pull up the image immediately on their phone, the Belgian blue cow is fucking stacked.
It's shredded.
This thing is fucking huge. It looks like peak Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
It is like this, like each one of these cows is Big Papa Pump.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I don't even think Buff Bagwell could have put any more steroids into his body to get jacked like one of these things.
No, they literally, like, their muscles have muscles.
They are fucking huge.
Yes.
So my final thought was I wanted you to look it up and just see how fucking stacked out these things are, because one of the kids at the gym, and you know him, you had him at Milton. which actually he's not an active athlete anymore. He might come on. I don't know. I'll see.
Is he
I gotta see.
graduating?
He's graduating.
Yeah.
He's done playing football. He's on the old man crew. So I don't know. I gotta think about if I want him to or not. So he goes, because he needs a new program. I wrote him one. It was pretty shit. Like he's like, I like a washed up college athlete that wants to get stacked, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So then he goes, all right, I need a new program. I'm like, all right, well, let me get to it. He goes, I want you to make me into a Belgian blue. I go, what the fuck is a Belgian blue? He goes, it's like a cow that's pumped full of steroids. And I'm like, wow, this thing is a fucking unit.
Yeah. So I just found out, I just read a little bit about it. The Belgian blue has a natural mutation in the myostatin gene, which is it's that condition that sometimes people get it too. Sometimes people and animals get it. It's just way more common in the Belgian blue, apparently. It's like the fucking pictures of like, you know, like the shredded like 8-year-old or 9-year-old that's absolutely like looks to be like unbelievable, right? Like it looks like he's like a professional bodybuilder, but he's 9. Same thing with dogs. Like I said, sometimes dogs get that. You literally have like muscles on your muscles. Well, it's a condition. It's a mutation of the myostatin gene, which is a protein that has to do with inhibiting muscle growth, like, right? Because you don't want, you do need your muscles to stop growing at some point. Well, this mutation, it like fucks up the gene. So there's nothing to tell your muscles to stop growing. So they just continually grow. So that's what's going on there with the good old Belgian blue. That's wild. That thing is fucking
awesome.
Yoked. It is yoked.
Thing is fucking sick.
Yeah. Well, I guess pun intended, right? Because that whole thing that's like yoked, like you used to, you put a yoke on a cow to get him to go across the field.
Oh, see, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. All right. So my final thought is we got big problems. We got real big problems.
Huge problem.
Yeah, huge problem.
The reason I laugh at that, I wish fucking someone from CISO listened to this. We ended up firing him, but there would be a kid who would come back and he'd always be like, Bobby, huge problem. What is it, Jeff? I went over to the ECC closet and pipe and drape not organized. Like, did you organize it? Yeah, I took care of it. It's just a huge problem. Huge problem. I went over to Heritage, and the chairs were not lecture style. Huge problem. Dude, these are not huge problems. Just fucking fix it and move on. Okay, so we got a huge problem.
Huge problem.
One of the wrecks outside.
Rex, yeah, the Rex got left outside in the underpass. So we got the 2 major Quidditch leagues in the United States.
Good. It's good to know that there's not just one of those.
There's not just one.
2.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't
so
know,
actually there's more than 0.
Quidditch is originally is a fictitious game, which I guess I'll get into it. So it's a fictional game from the Harry Potter world. For anyone out there that doesn't know Harry Potter, that's what it's from. Quidditch is the game that they play.
In fairness, it was a real game in their fictional world.
Right. Yeah, but the story itself is fiction.
The game actually existed.
Yes. No, that's true. But I'm saying it's from a fictional world. So I'll get into that in a minute, but let me just go through it. So the 2 major Quidditch leagues in the United States have begun looking and filing to change their names. They don't want to be known as Quidditch anymore because JK Rowling has recently come out against trans people again. Because like this is her fucking crusade. So she's been in the news for years.
She's willing to die on that hill.
So her thing though is she is a diehard feminist, and like in the true sense of it, right? Like I don't know what that means. Like third wave, fourth wave. I don't know the different waves. Let's just call her a third wave feminist. Oh yeah, yeah. There's levels to this shit, man.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So let's just call her a third wave feminist. I don't know what that means, but she's probably there. She is like very hardcore, like women's rights. Like we need to protect women's rights and we need to ensure that they're equal on equal footing and all this. So she does not like the fact that someone who is born a biological male can identify or actually go through the full transition process to become a female and then start like taking over things in the female world. For example, I don't know if you've heard about this, but the swimmer from Penn, UPenn, I forget her last name, but her first name is Leah. She is a transgender woman. Which means she was previously a male, and she's a swimmer for the University of Pennsylvania, and she is absolutely crushing everybody. She finished a race 38 seconds before the person in second place. So that's the dominance that she's going through right now. So I don't know if JK Rowling made a statement specifically about that or something else. It doesn't matter because she's been going against trans people forever because she looks at it like these are men that are coming into the world of women and like taking our positions, right? Because in a sense, she's not wrong. And we've talked about this before, like how long, especially in regard to sports, like how long before you get like guys that just can't hack it and they're like, fuck it, I'll identify as a woman and then go become a female professional athlete. And you know, whatever, it is what it is. But so she made a statement again that was taken to be anti-trans. So what does the two major US Quidditch leagues in the United States do? We can't stand for that. We're going to change our names. We're no longer going to be the United States Quidditch League or like whatever it's called, like the United States Federation of Quidditch or Quidditch Federation. Hey, newsflash. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about you. I'm sorry. I hate that I had to be the one to break it to you, but nobody gives a fuck what you name your league of a game that you modeled after a fictional book that was which, to be fair, like you had already said, was a real game in their world, but their world is fake.
Yes.
It's fake.
You flew in that game.
So now I'm going to get, this is what I'm getting at. So now I'm going to get to the second part of this. Good. You should change your name. You shouldn't be called Quidditch to begin with, because if we're going by the law of the Harry Potter realm, you shouldn't be called Quidditch to begin with, because Quidditch is a game that is played on a flying broomstick on a pitch that has like a 50+ foot ring or 3 rings that are hung in the air, suspended in the air. There's these things called bludgers, right? That are bewitched fucking essentially baseballs or more like softballs that try and fly around and try and literally knock you off your broom. And there's people that like their job is to fly on their broomstick with a baseball bat and swat these fucking softballs that are trying to hit people. And then you have this other thing called a quaffle. That's this weird shaped ball that you're trying to throw through the rings that are suspended in the air. And then, oh, by the way, throughout this entire thing, you have these 2 people that are called seekers, that their only job is to find this little tiny golden ball called a golden snitch that flies on its own and can go anywhere. Doesn't have to stay in the pitch. It could go outside the stadium. It could go anywhere. You have to follow it, chase it, try and catch it. That's Quidditch. What you play in your backyard is not Quidditch. What you play at your fucking college intramural or your professional Quidditch League Association of America is not Quidditch. So go ahead, change the name because you don't play Quidditch anyway. You're a stupid fucking loser that's pretending that they're playing a game that came from a fictional world, which I happen to thoroughly enjoy. Harry Potter series is one of my favorite series of all. Like the books themselves.
I couldn't tell with that great detail.
Yeah, I'm a huge Harry Potter head. But again, the people that think that they play Quidditch, you don't play Quidditch. So these people that are like, we'll show JK Rowling, we'll change the name, we'll take Quidditch out of the name of our league. To which I say, good. Thank you. Thank you for coming up with something that it actually is, because what you're playing is certainly not Quidditch. So you can all get fucked and nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about your cause going against JK Rowling. Because also, guess what? If it weren't for her, you wouldn't be playing this to begin with.
Yes, she
created
literally
it.
She invented
it.
Your identity.
Yes. So
especially because if these are professional leagues, you have to answer the question, what do you do for work? Oh, I'm a computer guy. Oh, anything for fun? Oh, yeah, I'm a professional Quidditch player.
Yeah.
She invented that.
Yep.
You are nothing without her.
Yes, literally.
You're just Todd in IT.
Yeah. You're just a fucking LARPer.
No, you'd be a LARPer. That's all you'd be.
You're a LARPer.
That's all you would be.
So fuck you. And fuck everyone that thinks they're playing Quidditch, because it's not Quidditch. So that's going to do it for us, kids. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, again, like I said at the top of the show, thumbs up, subscribe, rate, review, all that fun stuff. Rate and review the audio only version. 5 stars on iTunes and a review over there would help tremendously. Also, keep spreading the word. Tell everybody you know about the show. I don't know exactly how it has spread, but we have spread to Oklahoma.
Oh, shit.
And
Jones?
where else? There was another one somewhere else in the Midwest that we have never been before. So I want to welcome the one listener from Oklahoma. And I apologize to the other people from states that have just recently found the show that I can't remember. But Oklahoma was the one that stuck out in my head. I know we've been in Arkansas for a little while. California has been off and on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we fucking crush California every 4th episode.
Yeah, we got a few in Texas, Florida. Pennsylvania's a big one. Shout out to all you guys in Pennsylvania. New Jersey, New York, that whole area. Fuck, I can't remember. Iowa or Ohio, maybe? I don't know. Somewhere in the Midwest. So, again, like we said before, if you guys are listening, you enjoy it, you want to come on, you want to talk shit, cool. Let me know.
Especially if you're in a different state.
Yes. Oh yeah. We love the perspectives from other people. So hit us up on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod or on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. Send us a DM. Let us know. Be like, hey, I want to come on the show. Cool. That's fine. Again, we're a show for the people, by the people, of the people. If you want in, you're in. We're obviously not mega famous. We won't pay you any appearance fee, but we'll have some fun and we'll shoot the shit and, have a good time, have some laughs. Where our Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. A big thank you to mybookie.com. There's a promo code Sarcasm Pod at mybookie.com to double your first deposit up to $1,000 over there. What else? Grillyourassoff.com, obviously my favorite place in the world. I used them again tonight when I made dinner. grillyourassoff.com. Same promo code, Sarcasm Pod, gets you 15% off your entire order over there. It's a multi-use coupon. Use it every single time you check out for 15% off. Again, Sarcasm Pod at grillyourassoff.com. So until next time, good night.